All right, here we go. We're live here at the Old Nerd Studio.
Old Nerd Studio.
OldNerdGenius Studio.
In the center of northern Tennessee Valley, northern Alabama.
Yeah, right. Yeah, otherwise known as the Scene Bar adjacent to the Monaco Theater at Bridge Street. Typically we'd be standing outside talking about a movie, but this Tuesday there wasn't anything really that we were interested in seeing.
Didn't see anything, or nothing within our time frame, right?
So do we want to? Which one we're going to do? Mummy? Do you want to do the Mummy? Jump right into the Mummy.
Let's do the Mummy first.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, for context, in theaters for the 35th anniversary, they had the Mummy Returns, and Frank and I were supposed to go. I had a conflict, so Frank went, and I had, in preparation for that, I had watched the original Mummy. There you go. One of our assistants dropped something.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd watched the original Mummy in preparation for that. We wound up not being able to see it, but what I did was that weekend I watched the Mummy Returns on streaming to catch up with you, since you had seen.
I went to the theater.
You went to the theater and saw
enjoyed it thoroughly.
And then our intent was to go ahead and do the podcast on the Mummy Returns, even though we didn't see it at the same time together. And Frank has not gone back and watched the original Mummy. So I've talked enough. Tell me about the Mummy Returns, Frank.
So Mummy Returns. Well, do you want to go into the Mummy first?
No,
you want to do both? You want to just do the Mummy
let's,
Returns?
Let's just talk. That'll be context. That'll provide context. But you saw it in person.
You know, it's a fantastic sequel. The characters are already established.
Yeah.
They bring almost the three main characters, right?
Yeah. And the most important character.
The most important
character was Anck-su-namun, whatever her name. What's that character's name? I keep saying I'm going to forget. I'm going to have to look it up. Anck-su-namun or something.
Oh yeah, and Imhotep, he comes back.
Yeah.
So and who was a real person apparently.
Yeah.
My understanding, he was a high priest. It was also the first movie that the Rock appeared in, I believe.
Yes. No, you're right. That's right. That started the whole Rock craze. So short answer is you.
It's another. This is a high adventure movie that kind of is very much inspired by Indiana Jones-esque. It's set in the 1920s, 1930s.
Anck-su-namun.
Anck-su-namun, yeah.
Which evidently is ancient Egyptians for super hot babe.
Super fact. Science.
All right. Yeah, but anyway, you're talking about in the spirit of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's what I get out of it, right?
Yeah.
And they're wealthy now. They're in England, but apparently there was a legend of the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
And the bad guy from the first movie is back.
Yeah.
And he wants to get that power.
Yeah.
And so it's just another adventure movie where they got to get a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Which they now have a son.
The son's got it on his arm or something.
He's a precocious son.
Yeah,
exactly. He gets into trouble all the time. You know, he's a combination of the two of them.
Yeah.
And so I love the absurdity of the airship.
Yeah, that's good. It violates all physics.
As we say, old nerds, I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons in my day.
Yeah.
And that's like right out of a Dungeons and Dragons adventure.
Right.
He gets his old friend.
Yeah.
So, and they're just, I really feel like they're just having a ball with it. So again, there was that, it's a race against time.
Yeah.
They got to do it. They start in London, and then they're going through Egypt, the deserts of Egypt.
Yeah.
And the son, because he has that amulet, whatever, on his wrist. perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That plate's a little hot. Just like
All right. Thanks.
Cool. It leaves the. It leads you to where the hidden tomb is of the Scorpion
Right.
King.
Right.
I don't remember the exact details. And the son is. He keeps leaving. He keeps leaving the string, and they're following him. There's a nice little chase montage.
Yeah.
So again, though, this is the key part of the movie when they get to the end and he's desperately fighting. So he's got to get his son there because they were just going to leave.
Yeah.
But he's got to get his son in that tomb
If he doesn't
before
get in
sunrise.
there,
Otherwise,
the
the
son
son
will
dies.
die. Yeah, right.
And he does that. But then he's there. Then they wound the wife.
Oh, they kill the wife. They kill the wife.
They kill her, right?
Because
and the way to get her back is to get
the Book
that
of the
power.
Dead. They go
Right,
steal the Book of the
you're
Dead,
right.
and he reads the incantation. He reads the incantation, and he can't make out that last word, which
And
is a
then
callback to the original movie when the other dude, when the brother-in-law couldn't read that last word either,
Yeah.
and he had to
Yeah.
describe the symbol. And so the boy's describing the symbol. He goes, "Oh, I know what that is." Yeah, and that's a callback to the first movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
I missed that,
Yeah.
but I didn't
because I had just seen the first movie.
And to me the key part, right, is when the O'Connell and Imhotep, Imhotep shows his true colors.
right.
He's a coward.
Yeah, he's a coward. Yeah,
Because he loses his power, so
Yeah.
no, he's no longer a badass.
yeah.
And he kisses up to the Scorpion King, and O'Connell's got a good
Fight him. Yeah, he throws.
They figure
main
out
guy
that
under
the
the bus.
scepter turns into a spear, and that's
Yeah,
how you
right.
kill the Scorpion King. He wins, but so the key part comes when, so you have that duality of the two couples,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's really kind of a pretty good love story,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in the end, because the girl has been resurrected,
Right, well, yeah,
and she betrays him right at
yeah.
the end.
In the end,
but
the two Egyptians are cowards
but-
and are just in it for themselves.
yeah, and Evelyn O'Connell though, she's like, I'm not going to let him die.
Yeah, right.
She goes back to save
Yeah,
him.
right.
So
Yeah, it's about what's authentic love versus performative love, or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But I kind of want to talk about the first movie.
Well-
Do we have any more to say about the
well,
second one?
I haven't given you my opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
No, well, and it's because I held back because that movie was a piece of shit. It was
The
second one.
The second one. I enjoyed it.
Look, I'm just here to tell you, you ragged on Superman and gave it a 0.
I did.
If Superman is a 0, this is on the negative end of the spectrum.
Oh,
somewhere.
wow. You want to go negative.
No,
on
I'm
the
just
scale.
telling you, I'm at least at 0, and I'd be willing to go on the negative end of the scale because, and maybe I was ruined because I saw The Mummy 2 days before I saw The Mummy Returns. Because I'm telling you, The Mummy is a perfect movie.
Well, on that we would agree.
The Mummy is, and in comparison, this movie is a hot bucket of shit.
It has its problems.
It's got
I
so
still
many.
enjoyed it. I still sat through it. And
No, I hear
You
you.
know.
I can understand, and that might be my problem. Is I was too close to having just seen what was the genesis of this movie, and that movie I highly recommend. The Mummy, which I guess was in '99, came out in '99.
Only 2
Special
years
effects
before.
all hold up, yada yada, which is not true for The Mummy Returns, by the way. The special effects are nowhere near as good for The Mummy Returns because I think just in that 2-year window, it was only a 2-year window between them, but I think they tried to lean into doing stuff beyond CGI capabilities, and so it shows, I think. And of course the
I
story,
gotcha.
and of course the storyline's just not as good as the original
But
Mummy either.
that's 100% true.
Yeah.
There were a lot of problems. So I'll jump on the bandwagon. That's me jumping on the bandwagon with you. So the whole ridiculousness. He has a tattoo now that says.
Oh yeah, where the hell was that tattoo?
They
the
pulled
first
that
movie?
out of nowhere.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was a tattoo he got after because it was supposed to be like a tattoo.
The one that really annoyed me was now there's this secret society that they hint out in the first one.
Yeah.
But they literally have thousands of foot soldiers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and again, well,
No,
now
that's
I'm
what
glad
saying.
that before you rope-a-dope me to give a number to it. Because again, I would put it at a 6. If I were going to do the
Yeah,
1
enjoyable
to 1
6,
to 10.
and enjoyable 6. And I would say
now the mummy, the first mummy,
the 10.
that's a 9.
Yeah, I'd give the first Mummy 9, 10 easy.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it is, and for what
there's all of these guys, and they fight and they defeat the army, and then they're like, no, that's just the vanguard. That was awful.
Yeah.
That was 100% awful. And then they have this whole other one coming at them, and he kills the Scorpion King right before they clash. It was, there was no sacrifice. It's like, okay, they fought this whole this demon army.
Yeah.
And not a single one of them died.
And maybe another part of my problem was I wasn't captive in a theater seat. Although that never has prevented you from tuning out, for sure.
Listen, you want to get some good naps?
But I wasn't captive in a theater seat, and I was finding it painful to watch, so I would pause it and go about doing other shit, and I spread it over a couple of days.
That'll go into our. What I will say is how much
evidently
I
our
enjoyed.
support staff is getting loud as fuck in here. I don't know. We're gonna have to tell them to calm it down.
We'll see how it actually picks up. I think these being close.
Yeah.
If we got to redo it.
But
I would leave it at that. But we could talk about because the Mummy. There are parts that I love.
Do you remember enough about it to talk about it?
100%. So the one I'm going to give a shout out before I forget.
Yeah.
Is the pilot from World War I.
Oh yeah. With Dr. Bombay and the Bewitched, by the way. Have you ever watched Bewitched back in the day?
No, I didn't know that's who it was.
Yeah,
no.
that was Dr. Bombay.
I remember. He's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
He's this mad. He's got survivor's guilt.
Oh yeah.
Because all of his friends died in World War I. He's this mad pilot. I love him.
No, well,
He
I was
crashes in a quicksand.
I'm a Bewitched series super fan.
Okay, and that was a little past my time.
Yeah, and so I grew up watching it, and I just love it. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, Dr. Bombay.
No, do you? Let's go in since you put it that the Mummy was perfect because it really was. They set up a thing. There are these guys. They hear about a city of gold, or there's a lot of gold.
Right.
They have that whole setup at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you have, what is his name? Rick O'Connell, right? And he's being put to death, but he knows where it is. So the Egyptologist Evelyn goes to save him.
Yeah.
And he kisses her when he's in the prison.
Yeah.
He's in the cage.
Yeah.
And she's like,
no.
Later on, it's so. And then they have the competing group of the Americans. It's so utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
then, of course, it's where we first see Anck-su-namun. By the way, I did learn this in subsequent reading after I watched the Mummy Returns. In the first movie, she was in body paint. So that stunning outfit that she was wearing was literally painted on. That was body paint. But for the second movie, when they went back and redid some of those
scenes, so that was the whole thing, right? She was in body paint because nobody could touch her. But that was
and that was the whole thing. Cause that's how the emperor figured out that she'd been touched because her body paint got smeared.
Was smug, yeah.
But in the sequel, that was a bodysuit that she was wearing. Not that either one or
not that either one was terrible to look at.
Not that either one was terrible to look at. Yeah.
His old eyes did enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, the first one, the absurdity. So I remember the scene where they're flying in the plane, and that Imhotep uses his new supreme powers.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. What a shitty curse. You're going to curse a guy that grants him the ability to come back to be this unstoppable monster. That just doesn't seem like a good curse.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They got to step up, Egypt.
And that another problem I had with the sequel, right? Because at the end of the first movie, he dissolves into whatever pond was in the temple, remember?
Right.
Before the whole thing collapses.
Right, how does he come back?
He gets liquefied, right? And at the start of the second movie, they're pulling up what looks like a big chunk of what's the resin that hardens that from that the fossils are in?
Yeah.
And, amber.
Amber, yeah.
It looks like a huge chunk of amber that evidently they just got to dissolve to get him out. I'm like, what?
No.
Is continuity not a thing here?
Again, seen in the theater, not remembering.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I hear
it gets credit because I enjoyed it. I sat and I was
again,
and a
I
lot
can
of
see
movies in the last 10 years.
All right.
They're not there.
Well, we've been rambling on.
I
What
know.
else do we
I
need
think
to
that
say?
was enough of a
What else
ramble.
do we
That
need
was
to say
perfect.
about? So, Mummy, we both unequivocally recommend. Mummy.
Mummy 2. Once you see the first one, I think you'll still enjoy. But that's me.
No, I'm talking about Mummy 1.
Mummy 1, 100%.
Mummy 1, unequivocally, 100%. With no argument there, no debate. Mummy 2, if you have no remembrance of Mummy 1 and go into it trapped in a theater with nothing better to do, you might find it to be a 6.
But
don't make the mistake of watching it right after you watch The Mummy, because then you'll be in my camp where you'll say, what a piece of hot shit this was. And so,
very good. Very good.
And that's where we are. All right.
All right.
That's it.
Cool.